I think we should be good. I can post the link, man. These guys are already talking in the comments. There's 14 of us. There should be 200 likes. That's right, man. That's right. Oh, welcome in, guys. I feel like I haven't done this morning thing in a while. Oh, man. Welcome in, guys. Damn, I feel like a fat fuck. I need to go work out.
All right.
But why? What are you wearing, man?
Good morning.
Where's your headphone? Can you
My
hear me?
headphones right here. Yeah, I
Oh,
hear
okay,
you.
okay.
It's hidden.
All right, good. Morning in,
Good morning.
guys.
Good morning. Mike, look at Mike. Mike said you missed the 6 a.m. berries, Raf.
Bruh, like not today. I can't do berries today before trading. Oh no, pre-market, bro.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Where's the energy?
Yeah, where's the energy, guys? We need 10,000 likes. We only have 280 viewers. Come on.
280 viewers, 2,000
Yeah,
likes.
we
You
need to
guys
get
heard it.
1K likes one day. I feel like we always fall short like 800 or something. Go get your cousins to like it, guys. Go call your brother, sister. Tell them to go like, subscribe, and we can get started. Oh man, I'll let you run the economic thing, man, and then
Yeah.
we can get
Let's get
started.
started in a second. Let's get started in a second. We'll give it to 8:34, 8:35.
Okay.
Welcome in, everybody. How is everybody doing? How did you guys all do yesterday? Did you guys all have a good trading session yesterday?
I
I
hope
hope you
so.
did.
I hope so. It's a very nice downtrending day.
All right. Uh, let's see here. Let me get my stuff ready. Earning season's upon us, Ref.
Yeah, as if we need more volatility with already on top of what we have. Guys, hit the like, hit the subscribe button, guys. We only have, what is that, 184 likes. We need at least 800.
Yeah. And the green, but not the best. It's all right, man. Honestly, as long as you're green, it's fine. As long as you're green, that's all right. Well, today's session is Friday, October 17th. It is FAFO Friday.
So
We are gonna.
OPEX,
It's OPEX. Is it OPEX today?
it's yeah, it's a monthly OPEX expiration. Not
Monthly
quarterly, but
OPEX.
just OPEX. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's gonna be a fun session as always, but particularly a fun session because of OPEX and Friday. Without further ado, let's dive right into it. So, today, Friday, October 17th, this morning session, we have a whole bunch of data releases, okay? Here's what it is. We have housing starts 8:30, we have building permits 8:30, import price index 8:30. This was all about 6 minutes ago. Was the data released? Was the data
I
released?
think
Let's
so. I
see.
think
I'm
so.
gonna check on my panel here. The data was not released as far as I'm seeing here.
Really?
I do not see any data. Do you guys see data here? I don't think I see anything on my end in terms of data. So it looks like no release of this data. 8:30 a.m. data, just
Oh yeah.
scanning through. Yep, no data release. That's fun, right? Obviously, very fun. Nothing coming in this morning in terms of data. Besides that, we have more data at 9:15, more data at 9:15 again. So two sets of data at 9:15.
Not gonna come.
So nothing coming out today. Looks like most things are going to be kind of postponed because of the government shutdown. Right. Going into next week. Next week is an incredibly important week, assuming we have that data. So if you guys recall from last week, or this week actually, we were supposed to get CPI and PPI data this week. I don't know if you guys know that, but CPI and PPI was rescheduled to next week. And for that reason, of course, you have into next week's calendar on Friday session, we have core CPI on Friday, October 24th. So that's what we have on the docket going forward. Big data week next week, Friday with the big session with our CPI, assuming that the we do get that data because the government shutdown, right? Also on the docket, of course, is earnings reports. I don't want to discuss this today because it's not important for today's session. It's important for next week. So we're not going to discuss earnings reports. We'll save it for our Monday session, and we'll talk about that going into early of next week. Without further ado, let's dive into our charts. We'll have a fun time on SPY.
Yeah. All right. Let me start with SPY, guys. So we've been having crazy volatility. If you guys haven't been aware, I'm living under a rock. This past week, SPY has been doing the Uno reverse on a daily basis from resistance, let it be 670-ish area, all the way to lower 660s. And the first time when we went down, we had that big 2% down there. We actually, after hours, we crashed into this 647 area. And then the next day, we kind of popped back up into supply, which was 665, which is where we shorted. We went long this particular day. It was on Monday, right? Monday we went long. I think I called the 650. I don't know, remember what it was, but we nailed that day too, right? We got a good day that day, and then the next day we had a nice bounce of the session 650 to 653. This is the signal that I did on SPY, and the last past 2 days we've nailed the shots on SPY. First day at the 670, I think all three of us were in that trade. And then the yesterday session also we had the 668 area reject. What you see in common over here is that every day when we sell, we always end up testing this lower 660 area. And for the first time since last Friday, we actually broke this threshold, 659-ish area threshold, and we sold into it after hours. From today, pre-market came in and saying that there's some progress in the tariff, whatever, the China talk, right? And we're back above 660 again. Now, one of these days, we're stop going to, you know, just respect this range. We're going to break through this range. And I don't know, Brett and I were talking about this pre-market. I don't know if that's going to be today. Because these areas, you can see the volume's kind of just dropping more and more every time we tap into these areas. So there's not a lot of liquidity in these areas. So we're going to either push through or we're going to fail massively and come back down here and break the support. Now, today's a Friday, it's OPEX, but we have volatility, we have VIX highs, so we can't really say it's impossible, okay? So for levels, today, I'm really watching the 665 level because this is kind of where yesterday we started slipping, right? So we had the 668 level, but at the moment we lost 665, we started slipping SPY, right? So today I want to see if we can reclaim the 665 area with conviction, and if we do, which is exactly the Tuesday's high as well, we can potentially push into 668 and then 670. Okay, 665 is going to be a very key area for me on the upside resistance level. This is a range, right? So we need to know what the upside potential range is. 665, as long as it doesn't go above that, shorts can still be somewhat in control. But if it goes above that, then it's going to be a slippery slope and it's going to be a squeeze. And for downside, we want to maintain this 655 level, right? I want to see if 655 can hold. This was the previous support level that was broken and reclaimed. So if we can lose the 655 level, which is again a 4-hour support level right now, we can slide back into 650 and even lower. Okay, so 655, 665, 655 is support, 665 is resistance. This is my range high and low heading into today's session. Brad, do you want to add anything?
Yes, absolutely. So I think that we've done a really good job turning SPY this week. I think on Monday session you actually were long. I think I took AMD long on Monday,
Mm-hmm.
and then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, my entire session has just been basically short the pops. And that's what we did on Wednesday, as we did on Thursday. It was quite good. Thursday, I didn't really catch. I think you caught a lot of this yesterday on Thursday session. I wasn't very active yesterday,
Yeah.
but Thursday
Tuesday
session
went
was
long. Tuesday went long. Wednesday and
Tuesday,
Thursday it's short. It's been a tricky
right?
week. Not gonna lie, it is a tricky week because SPY has been the ranges are crazy, right? If you're trying to maintain 5%, 10%, especially signaling wise, right, it's going to be difficult. But because the stock's moving, you could get away with a lot of bad trading, right? Holding, and everything. Even if you're down 20%, you can easily like come back green because of the volatility. But we've done well so far, considering we didn't make a lot of mistakes.
Right. But for today's, or really for yesterday's session, right? Yesterday's session was almost a Groundhog Day Wednesday, right? So Wednesday was obviously a pop and fade type day, and then Thursday it was again a pop and fade type day. But the one thing you have to understand is that, if we are in a downtrend right now, okay, on the 1 hour time frame, it doesn't mean that you buy puts into demand. Okay, that's not what happens here. And what you're seeing right now in this pre-market session is you're seeing obviously a big sell-off day on Thursday. Okay, and you're seeing some gap down here on this Friday morning. But the question is, where are we gapping down into this Friday morning? And if you look at Rav's chart over there on the bottom right, you're going to see that we are gapping down into the 653 red box. See the little red box he's got chart over there, 653. Well, that 653 is conveniently the low of our Tuesday session. It's Tuesday's low, okay, 653. And it is also the close price of Friday, October the 10th, okay? Not the low of that session, but actually the close price of Friday, the October 10th low. That is the low we closed at. That is where we were right before the after hours sell, okay? So 653, 653, 653. Now we sold off into 653 this morning, and the question is, do you want to be shorting back into a previous level of demand? I think the answer is probably fucking not, right? What I would suggest we do is we probably wait for us to push in a supply, 666, the same supply we had yesterday, and we look to see is there any confirmation for short there, and if there is, go short. But again, so that's one level, right? So one level is 653 is demand. Your second level is 666 is supply, and then your middle point, I think Rav, you have a chart there as well, is 660, right? The midpoint is 660 on SPY, and that's the low of Wednesday session. And the low of Wednesday session and the low of Monday session is 660. So I think that you have three big levels to watch out for. You have 660, you have 653, and 666. Meaning there is basically a $6 to $7 range here. Very wide range here on SPY. Very wide range here on SPY. Now, I wouldn't really be short today if we're above 660. I think we're probably going to go to 66. And then if you go to 66, then obviously you can look for shorts there. But again, your bull bear pivot this morning off the get-go is going to be 660, above bull or below bear. That's what I'm watching today's session here on the SPY chart. Yeah.
Yeah, and today's going to be very tricky, guys, because like I don't believe none of this bullshit news coming out. Because the fact of the matter is, now, past in what almost a year into presidency, we haven't made any single trade deals, right? So all these like volatility that you see up and down, I think markets eventually going to get tired of it, like it did earlier in his first presidency, Trump's first presidency, when we had a trade war. So we're going to be very careful. These ranges are exhausted. Every session you go in, have a mindset that I don't want to lose. Okay, as long as you do that, you are going to get a lot of value. When session does become easier, you're going to make a lot of money. So when things don't go work out in your favor, just make sure you cut your losses quickly. That's my only advice. Okay,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
all right, let's look
Yes.
at ES. Okay, I'll let you do ES.
So ES chart, basically same thing, right? What did we say yesterday? We said basically the six. We said basically Groundhog Day. Thursday morning we said Groundhog Day. We said this is the a repeat of our Wednesday session. As long as we are under the 67.48 supply here, we'll see downside. I think if I recall, I was in the car in the parking lot, and then I hear you guys are going short on what was it on SPY at that 668 level, right? And if you recall, where was the short that Mike and Rav took yesterday? It was
668,
67, 668, which will be
668,
the
668.50. That was the highest pivot.
exactly. But if you look at what that was on ES chart, that was basically 67.43 ES. And the question is, why would you short there, right? The reason why was because basically just an initial opening bell supply rejection off the level, and we just popped and retested it, right? Just a retest of a supply we already rejected. We failed off of it again, and that probably was the best trade of the session yesterday. Now, even for myself, I took this too, and I ended up selling way early on this one as well, because it was just it kind of like chopped around a little bit, but the overall idea there was really good. And this was something that we spoke about in the pre-market as well, was basically just supply rejection. If you see supply rejection coming in, then that's your trade. And that was your trade yesterday off ES, right? ES supply rejection, we moved all the way from 67.48 down to 66.33 as a low yesterday session. Now, today's session here on ES, what's important? Well, what's important is understanding that we've already made a big move to the downside, right? And we're seeing a lot of gap. We're seeing some buying pressure back in the market. Your pivot today is going to be 66.60 above bull below bear. But again, just because we're bullish doesn't mean you can't go back for supply rejections at the same level from yesterday, right? So if we do see us popping at 67.20, the FOMC highs, there could be a short there. If you see us fail back into the lows of pre-market, there could be a long there, right? So again, just understand that we have a little gauge in the middle, 6660 ES. But then if you use that gauge, you can probably find trend-based entries into the extreme high or extreme low. But again, those extreme highs and extreme lows are going to be areas to look for reversion trades off of, particularly where we were short yesterday. I think it's still probably valid for shorts today and the pre-market lows today. Even if you don't long the pre-market lows today, even if you don't long the pre-market lows today, I wouldn't be short into it. You understand what I'm saying there, right? Not every level of demand is a level you have to long off of. So if you do pull the pre-market lows today, it's up to you if you want to long it, but I certainly wouldn't short into it, if you understand what I'm saying here, right? So again, lows 60, 65.60, your midpoint 66.60, and your supply 67.20 and 67.48. Those are your big levels going into our session here on the ES chart.
Okay, let's look at QQQ. Guys, we have 950 of you here. We need at least 5,000 likes. Come on, hit the like button, hit the
Five
subscribe
thousand
button.
likes. Look at crackhead QQQ. You see this chart? Holy shit!
Yeah, it's all
This is a
ads. I
crackhead
mean, the
chart.
thing is, it's all of these charts are actually super volatile. Only us traders can feel like, oh my god, look at that sexy chart. Not because it looks good or anything like that. It's because of the ranges. It's moving. You can make money no matter what, and it's almost, to be honest, if you're a little disciplined, it's almost impossible to end the day red with the market moving like this, right? Even if you start the day red or whatever, you can come back and make money as long as you cut your losses quick and don't marry into a position, right? So QQQ chart very similar. I mean, you can pretty much just may short one of these demands, short one of these supplies, and then long one of these demands, and you would have made money. Brett, you want to cover? I don't really like have a lot of QQQ levels.
No, I mean, to be honest with you, I think Qs for me recently have been a little bit wonky, right? I just have levels all over the place as well, and it's confusing for me from myself. That's why I haven't really been trading Qs. Maybe that's a lie. I don't really trade Qs in general, but I would say your levels are pretty clear today. It's just a lot of them, right? 608 was your supply. Look at the high yesterday session. 608 became your supply zone. 606 failed. That was your short yesterday session. 606 failed. Then moved back into 60250. I think Mike was watching at 608 level on Qs yesterday. That was his supply zone. If you recall, that 608 level on Qs was I think it was either NDX or NQ 25,000. That was your big level yesterday session. So that was your correlation to 608 yesterday. Now today we were back at 598.40 in the pre-market session. Your supply above us is 602.50. Your demand below us is 592. That's it. That's all you have today. So play with your big levels, right? Demand lows is at pre-market lows. Supply highs is at 602.50 and 606. So if I do see us pop today, look for the fades at the pop spots and look for rejections at 606 and 602.50. That's all I have today's session here on the Qs chart. So I mean, again, nothing crazy here. I think SPYs for me is more clear this morning, but if you are a Qs trader or a tech trader, you should know your levels.
This is
Yeah.
what I would say. 60350. If you want to do a correlation with SPY 605, the 60350, 604 needs to be the kind of the supply on Qs. We don't want to get above that because if you do, then again you're losing that short pressure, and can turn into a squeeze. So ideally, you want us to maintain maybe slight pop under 600, but that's about it, and then fail. And for demand, you want to see this 592. Obviously, you want to see this loose on QQQ. So if you want to invert this move, this will be our area to go back under
What level is
600.
that? 592?
593 area
Yep.
for demand, and then supply 603.50, 604. So
And
these
that
are
592 is that Tuesday low, I think, right?
correct. Yeah, Tuesday's low. Tuesday's low, and today pre-market, that's kind of where we pivoted off of also. So we dipped and reclaimed that. And this is the thing, all these levels are bouncing. Look at how perfectly they're bouncing. So you can tell whenever I see a level that's perfectly tested or bounces, that level, even if it bounces first time, it's always going to get liquidated the second time around. So like trade without bias. Again, it's hard to not be. I don't know, the fact that it keep bouncing back up. I want us just to crash, but I'm really trying hard not to be biased. But this thing, every time they come back up, it looks scary as fuck that they're going to break the range. Okay, so one good news, I think, hey, Russia deal done, or China deal done, or India deal done, and then this thing just rips. So we just don't know. Be careful. That's what I will tell you.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let's look at individuals. Start with maybe Tesla.
Sure.
All right, Tesla. Tesla. This has been range so far. I can't believe yesterday I had that 38, 37, 38 shot and I sold because I was down 1,000 and I came back break even and I sold. That thing just went down crazy. This is a big range on Tesla. Every time we pop back down into this 415 area, we bounce back up. Same thing again, 415 area, we bounce back up. Right? The pivotal area over here on for Tesla is about that 430, 432. If we can clear that, we could head into 435 and then 440, which is the big resistance level. Okay, we've rejected or failed this 440 area since Wednesday. So we were above that on Tuesday, and we popped up above on a Monday session. Tuesday we came back under. Wednesday we failed again. Thursday and today again we have another session. Okay, so above 440 again. I don't know if it's possible. We could get a big breakout, but the pivotal area is 432. Okay, 432 is the supplies for now. Let me just draw this so that you guys can clearly see it. Alright, this is the okay. Again, it equates pretty much to SPY 665. Okay, so this is if they show relative strength, this is something you can long, and if they lose this 420 area, this is a short for me. Okay, this is basically yesterday's closing price. All right, so this is the area 421 maybe. Yeah. All right, these are the two levels I have. Again, it's all a range. The fact that we're not speaking about breakouts, we're not speaking about all of that is a clear sign to you guys, because every chart is a range. We just don't know which way the market's going to break, and regardless of what shows strength, relative strength now, or what shows relative weakness now, won't matter. It only depends on where the market's going to go. The market breaks to the upside, all of these names are going to go to the upside. If the market breaks to the downside, it's going to break to the downside. Brett, anything to add on Tesla?
No, just complete range, right? So
Yeah.
you have your guys, you know what I'll do? The problem is, I think I'm yelling, and then it makes Rav's voice seem less loud. I'll stop yelling. That's my thing. I gotta stop yelling. 416 is your key demand. I gotta whisper a little bit. 416 is your key demand, right? And then your key supply is 440 on Tesla. You want to get frothy, trade it in the range. But I do think at some point it's going to break the range, and I think that's going to be where you get the big continuation move. Obviously, either above 440 or below 416. That's where the big exciting move comes from. But AMD, Rav. Oh man, AMD's gonna get me excited. I
Oh, dude,
want to go crazy.
AMD end of the shot was so good, dude. I actually caught that, and then they bounced it back up again today.
Screw your short, man. Screw your short. I want to long this. Look
I
at
mean, yeah, I mean, I don't want to long it there, but I wanted it to retest this lower. This is the retest idea. You can see this. This is a long
yeah.
there, but I just thought we would get that retest yesterday, and they kept promising me the world. Only end of the day they did it.
Do,
Um,
do, do you see how they bounced this into the pre-market session here at 4 o'clock in the morning?
yeah, I see it. I mean, the entire market. This is the thing. AMD is strong. It doesn't matter. SPY sells, everything sells. So today, if this thing SPY does bounce, this looks like a very good short squeeze setup above this 240 area, which we kept rejecting yesterday. They break
Yes.
240 today. This is a trending long. If you guys want to be trending long, this is it.
Yes. I like this a lot. Now I'm a little annoyed that they bounced this in the pre-market session because this is like the best possible long trade. Remember we said this over and over again for a while on AMD was at 225 bounce. And look what they did. 4 o'clock in the morning. No one's who's trading at 4 o'clock in the morning, okay? Nobody's
Not
trading at
us.
4 o'clock in the morning. Not me. I'm still sleeping at 4 o'clock in the morning. But I mean, what a scam. I mean, maybe some of you guys probably long-dated equity, but I think probably a handful of us out of 1,000 people that are here probably did that. Now 225 was your demand zone this morning. Now the question today is, what are we going to do after holding major demand? To me, this looks like a major long setup today, right? And my top watch is going to be, can we build back above 240? If we can clear 240, I'll look for longs back into 243 plus. Likewise, if we do see us fail back into 225 today, I would also look for longs there too. So I'm keeping this on the main watch today. And I know it's Friday session, so Friday probably going to be not trading 0 days. But I will be trading next week on this. And if I do see us clear that 240, I'll look for alongside into that 243 plus. So really nice chart here. But frustrating that they did this in the pre-market session. What about Nvidia?
Yeah, same. They just keep holding that 180 again and again. Like again, they lost the pre-market and now they're wicking and reversing back down. People who keep shorting this 180, they hope that finally it will stick. You can see this 180 bounced, 180 bounced, 180 like dumped it, but all the same day they reclaimed it also. And yesterday they popped it above and bounced it again. Today, for the first time after hours, they gap down again, and pre-market they're reversing again. So for me, this 180 area is not tradable as of now, right? But eventually it will be a breakdown, okay? When they start creating a swing low, this gives, for example, this pre-market action is inverted and we break under this low. I think this is going to continue. This will be a sign of the market is really selling. This Nvidia chart will, downtrend will start playing out even more, right? But if they can get back above this 184 level, if you guys remember, this was the area from I think a few days ago when we shorted SPY also, right? If they can get above this 184, 185-ish area, this will be a long because this will be an inversion of all of these 4-hour candles, and this since and basically the entire weeks of actions, and we can get back
Yes.
about to the supply which is 190. Okay, so 185, 184 and above, move to 190. Again, if AMD moves, if SPY moves to the upside, this will be another setup. It will be obvious when the market's breaking up, all of these move will make a unison move. When that happens, you don't need to question it. Hey, this is going to break through, right? And you can go that way. But if you see disconnected move, which is why I said, guys, I'm not going to take signal meta longs yesterday. I don't want to signal any longs yesterday because they were all over the place, and that's exactly why SPY also failed, right? When we have all these disconnected moves that's happening, market's not just going to make a move one way, and it was always going to be a failure, and I'm glad it did. And I'm glad we're getting direction right all these days, is because it's very hard, and so that's why I feel like touch wood, we're doing well trading. Hopefully it continues today too. So
Yeah.
184 guys, and then 180. This demand has to break again, and 176. If they make a swing low break here, this will be supply.
I like this a lot, Ralph. I actually I know right now it's mostly bear sided, but I like this 184 break.
Yeah.
If we do get it, I really like that trade.
Yep.
Especially if you see even if SPY just moves back to supply today, right? If SPY moves back to 66 and you want to look for a catch up long, maybe AMD or Nvidia is one of them, right? So I've been looking for this today, and even if I go long today on Nvidia above 180, I know that 184 is still a rejection spot. 184 is the main spot. Like what I was saying, right? Is you can try to be cute and long above 180, look for 184, or you can wait for 184 to break and look for the big break.
Yeah.
So that's my intention here is to look for that. If we see the 184 break, I'll look for longs to 190. But again, if you are longing 180 above, you're really only moving as far as extent to 184. And likewise, if you do see this breakdown, 175 is the low. And I like my no trade zone today. My dead zone is my 180 to 175. I just don't get involved there, right? But again, let's see what happens today's session. That's where I think we can get some good action today, above that 184. What about other chip names? Anything else you're watching on chip side?
Nah, fuck chips. Let's go to Meta. So Meta, this has been super good trader lately because of the ranges, but this is becoming too heavy here. Okay, yesterday once again they had that 715 bounce of the open, which was nice, I guess. But then, like I said, there was no flow. There was no flow in Meta. If there's not enough orders coming in on Meta, it's not going to hold, and it did. It failed for loss. Right? If you went long trying to be cute, trying to average down and think this will go, this didn't go. Okay, you were in for a rude awakening, and this thing dropped all the way to 702, 705, which was the previous like range pivot here, and we bounced again 715 after hours. But then when market sold, this thing dropped under 698, only to reclaim back all of those levels back to 710. Okay, now we are in for a good play, right? If there is a long setup on Meta, we want to see it above the 6, 718, 719 area. Okay, so I'm going to draw this so that it's a little bit clear for you guys. Right, this is the red box area here. Right, so 716, 718. We need to build above this area. If you get a big candle above this area, use this 715 to 717 area as demand, and if it holds, that's your cute long entry area. If you can get the cute long entry area there, this is going to run into what is the recent high, 725, which is the breakout. Breakout 725, we're going to get to 735 and long above. Okay, again, a lot of this depends on market direction. This is the upside break idea. For downside, we still haven't had a close under 700 convincingly. This is just like Nvidia, that 177, 178 level. If we break 700 the next time, okay, not saying it's going to happen, but if market is weak, this can also sell. They've saved this a few times now. The next time they get back under this level, this is going to sell. You can see the next level have a 690, 684, 680, and so on. Okay, Downside looks really nice as well because all these supports that are holding, all these people are scaling into this demand, hoping that it's going to go up. They're all going to start feeling sweaty and they're going to start stopping out of trades, causing a massive downside move as well. Okay, so it depends on market direction. 700 flush, 698 flush, whatever it is, and 715, 716 reclaim for upside. This is a range. There's no trend. The only trending looking stock right now is AMD, and if it can break to 40, you can get continuation. But everything else is a range. Guys, hit the like button, subscribe button. We have like 900 of you here. We need at least like 2,000 likes here. Come on.
2,000 likes. 2,000 likes.
And hit the subscribe also while you're at it because like what are we? Like we need to get this thing popping. All right. What else? What else? You want to watch ABG or something?
Yeah, let's do Avgo.
Okay, that's you.
So Avgo has been basically playing with 350 for way too long at this point. And the longer it plays with 350, the less interested I am in the stock. Now, yesterday's session, I spoke about not longing 350 as demand anymore. I said if you're going to go long anywhere, you would long above that 359 level, which was the PDH, which is Wednesday's highs. Now it worked, right? You did see a little bit of breakout yesterday, right? Obviously, 359 broke out. You saw it push in 363. So it was about $4 upside move yesterday's session. But to be honest, the more I look at this chart, the more I realize I just don't want to get involved here anymore, right? This is not something that I think we should be playing around with. As long as we keep messing with 350, it chopping around this level, it's becoming less and less interesting. Because you have to understand, this chart should have just gone already, right? On Thursday's session, it should have broke 359 and it should have never looked back. But this is like, it basically left for vacation and then came back the next day. What's going on here, right? Do not. I would not be involved here. Is what I'm trying to say, right? The only way I would be involved in this chart now is no longer utilizing 350 as a level, but instead of using 359.5 as a level. If we can clear above that, obviously back in the highs here, 372. But I think that this chart is getting tired, right? So if you're looking for reentries in this one, look for reentries above highs, above 3595. Besides that, leave it alone. No longer trading 350 anymore. That's just my intention here. Again, you can do this with as you please, right? If you want to trade your Avgo, right, you can trade it upside down, sideways, inverse, anywhere you want to do, right? But for me to get involved, it's got to be above those Wednesday's highs. That's my involvement there.
Yeah,
What do you think, Rav?
this
Same thing?
345 is kind of this is the breakout, and if they're building any kind of pressure on squeezes, this 345 is it. This used to be that breakout level. They popped it. They flushed under, thinking that this is going to fail, and they kept reclaiming it, and again they're popping it above. So 345, you can use it as bull bear pivot. If it's above, it's bullish. Below, it's bearish. So the next time they flip it, I do agree. You can kind of see it. They're kind of building pressure here. So if they invert this move here, like, let me just draw it for you guys, so it's easy. They are going to start selling this, right? So if they do this, this is possible, okay? So this cannot come back down under 345 because they've already tapped it out. This just has to keep going. If they fail one more time, this is a short, okay? I'm not going to fucking trade this because there's a lot of other names to trade. I'm not going to trade something that's wide range and down like looking like
I
a
love it.
dumbass. But this is something for all dumbasses if you want to go trade this. Okay, not me. What else? What else do we have? Netflix? Yeah, this thing's dead. It's finally doing that 1200 move and flush again, and I love that it's doing it when market is was popping also, and market was popping, Netflix was basically trading. Okay, so I'm gonna extend this.
Look at that chart, guys.
Guys, like, what can I say? I love me some Netflix and chill. It's so easy to trade Netflix. You guys don't understand. If you penny pinching 10% stops and all that, you're gonna miss out on big moves on this, right? You are gonna be risky a little bit, but every time it pops this red box, it gets back under. I just shot. Simple as that. This is all I did, right? And every time it comes back above this thing, I long. Look at this box, right? So we're back down here, right? So if we can get back under this, this is a shot again for me. Okay, so it's 1180 level. Okay, I don't know if it's going to do that, but if it gets back under this, I'm just going to short use that as supply, right? Maybe $2-3 risk, and you can do that. Again, don't mess around. If you have a small account, if you have a big account and you know what you're doing, don't go crazy. Also, you just need like 5-10 contracts, and this thing will just take 5x, 10x. Okay, you'll put like 3-4K in it, and then this is literally double or triple. That's kind of how Netflix works. And if you're wrong, you lose small. If you're right, you can make big returns. But these are the levels zones I have. You can't have individual levels if it's $1,000 plus stock. but this is the demand. We're kind of hovering here. This is an untradable zone. If it gets back above, you can just long it, but if it gets back under this box, you can short it. Okay. Um, Anything else, Brett? Do we have to cover?
No, no.
Nothing.
That's it for me.
Yeah, that's it. Pretty much covered up most of these names. Can you
Yeah.
say the numbers on Netflix? 1180, so okay, 1180, 1185. That's our demand. We need to get about under that for any kind of short, and this is the 1230 area for supply. Okay. Yeah, it's 9:10, so we can call it. Trade safe, guys. We'll be on live. We'll try to get some good trades. It's OPEX, so be disciplined, trade safe, and see you guys in the chat.
See you guys on